Hi, my name is Jennifer Martins, and this is the best screening software assignment for the Principles of Design and Management in Educational Technology and Online Learning at Liberty University. In this video, we will be reviewing 3 types of screencasting software. The 3 types of software are Camtasia, ScreenFlow, and Screencast-O-Matic. Beginning with Camtasia, a few things that I wanted to answer are how much is the maximum recording length, what types of video files are created, does the software need to be installed or is it browser-based, and are the embed codes provided or easily accessible. Beginning with the recording lengths, it is unlimited. However, it is important to know that you shouldn't pass 2 hours as it is not recommended. Up next, for the types of files that are created, the mentioned files are for the types of video. There are other types of files that you can create through Camtasia. However, I just wanted to keep it short, and I'll actually show that on the next slide as well, including the audio and the image, but for right now, these are for the video. As far as the software that needs to be installed, it does need to be installed, and it's important to note that it is only possible for Mac and Windows. So you'll be able to see that up next as well when we see the next slide. As far as the embed codes provided, they are provided and they are easily accessible, and you can export it anywhere or export it as a web page. Here is a list of more support file formats. So this would be the audio and image mentioned before that was not previously shown. And as mentioned, there is a more complete list with further details for each operating system that include Windows and Mac OS. That being said, here's a short clip of what Camtasia looks like. As far as how easy it is to use, although it is beginner friendly, it usually does take a couple of hours. If you try to learn through videos, it may not take as much, but it is important to note that it could take up to 5 hours. It's also important to note that it is recommended for professionals and people with experience. So if it is your first time, that's why they say it's up to 5 hours. And it might not be recommended as your first try, since it is, for more professionals who do have more experience with screencasting. As far as pricings go, there are 4 different prices. So the first one would be for an individual price, the second is for business, education, and then the last one would be government and nonprofit. So for the individual, it is close to $300 per user, so you don't have to keep paying it every year. It does include the following shared there, and you are allowed to have that free upgrade for the next version of Camtasia. You have the Camtasia certification with 20 plus videos of training, and you also have the support that's given through phone, chat, or email. Business is a little bit different as it does have the same price, however it also includes the site licensure. That's the only difference between the individual and business in this case, as shown here. And then after that, we do have for education as well. Education, the difference here is not only the price, but it's also the fact that it's tax exempt, ordering available, and instead of state site license, it has it as an availability, so you don't necessarily have to use it, but it's important to note that if you use it for school or for putting it on sites, it is offered in this plan. The last one is the government and nonprofit. It is very similar to the education. The only thing would be the price difference. So for education, it was $212.99, whereas the government one is $269. On the bottom of the pricing page, they also show this below. The next one is ScreenFlow. With ScreenFlow, I'll be answering the same types of questions. As far as the maximum recording length, I wasn't able to find the total, but I did see that the free version offers 5 minutes. As far as the files go, I also wasn't able to find too much on their website, but these are the ones that I found while doing some research. And it's important to note, this is something that you do have to install, so you are going to have to download it. It cannot be accessed through browser. But more than that, it is only accessible for Mac users. And that being said, it does make it a little bit difficult to embed the codes, and it's not as easily accessible since it is only for Mac. Here's a short clip of ScreenFlow. In comparison to Camtasia, it is known to be a lot easier than Camtasia. So it may not take as long to learn how it works. So I consider it a little bit more easy than Camtasia. That being said, here are the prices. You do have to renew it every year, so this would be the yearly price. The last one would be Screencast-O-Matic, and similar to the other two screencastings, we're going to be answering the same questions. So as far as the maximum recording length, the basic was the only one that I found for now, which would be 15 minutes. I'm sure you could do more, but this is the one that they showed us for the basic version. As far as the types of file that are created, these are the types. So it is a little bit less than Camtasia, considering it is mostly video. And the great thing about this one too, about Screencast-O-Matic, is that it can be installed and it can also be browser based. That being said, it's not only limited to Mac OS and Windows. As far as the embed codes, they are provided and they are easily accessible as long as you upload the video to Screencast-O-Matic. Here's a video of how it looks like. Screencast-O-Matic is known to be the most beginner-friendly out of all other screencastings. So it is very easy to navigate through. It is recommended for people learning how to use screencastings. So I consider it to be one of the easiest since that's what the research said as well. And then as far as pricings go, it is a free resource and it does have a bunch of features. There are 2 additional versions, which would be the Deluxe and the Premier. That being said, the Deluxe is about $19.80 a year, whereas the Premier is around $48 a year. And as you can see, it includes record audio from the computer, use scripted recordings, speech-to-text captions, and more. As far as the best when it comes to the 3, I believe that when it comes to pricing, Camtasia is pretty good for its value, and you only have to pay once for subscription. You don't have to pay every year or every month. It is just a one-time thing unless you want to upgrade it. Again, that's mostly if you're a professional and you use Camtasia pretty often. But if you're a beginner and you're trying to see if this is something for you, Screencast is free. And there are also pretty cheap options, so even if you want to do a month-to-month basis, it's not that expensive, so it may be worth that price as well. As far as usability comes to play, it is pretty easy to navigate through. It is one of the most beginner-friendly, so I would say the usability for Screencast-O-Matic is the best out of the 3, especially if you're learning. And the value, Camtasia, again, because it is something that is more long-term, it is a good investment considering you don't have to pay every year, every month, and it does come with a lot of features. So again, I think the value of Camtasia does outweigh the other options because it also has unlimited video and a lot more options when it comes to recording and screencasting. Thank you so much for watching, and here are the references.